What's up, everybody, and welcome to ESO Daily. I am your host, Mr. Craven. Okay, guys, I told you I'm going to be knocking stuff out today. Knocking everything out, I swear. So, basically, it's going to be going down to this. I'm just got done crafting Giulianos and Twice-Born Star. Now, I'm just going to be enchanting the legs and the chest. I'm not going to be enchanting anything else because I just kind of want to see the differences between the divines and the infused pieces when I do the switch out, and the comparison between max spell damage and max crit between the two. So this is how I kind of determine. I'm not going to use the shadow. I'm kind of going to do a a side-by-side comparison. And I can go from there to decide which Munduses I'm using and so on and so forth. But one of the major things I always want to take a look at is how these sets compare in comparison with each other for the stats. So right now I have the Twice-Born Star on. Everything is gold. All right. So I'm running a 5-3-2 setup with Twice-Born Star, Grothar, and Architect. So everything's kind of whatever. I'm going to keep on the dual side because I'm running Torok's pack with a Nirnholm and an infused weapon. So I've decided if I'm going to go crafted and I go back to the 5-3-2, I will be going back to the Torok's pack. Only difference is I'll be running one infused for the proc from the enchantment. So I keep the uptime a little bit more. So one of the major things that, like I said, I want to do is go to the character sheet. Everything's kind of reflecting on that. Make sure my food buff's up. I'm just using the whatever food buff right now, but it's sufficient just for what I'm kind of doing here. Because what I'm running is the Thief, which gives me a critical rating of 3007. And I'm running the Apprentice for the spell damage, which is giving me 362 with all divine. Okay, so that's very important to remember. This is all divine. So with the all divine pieces, that's what I'm getting. Everything's divine. So when I take a look at this, getting 362, getting 3007. All right, guys. So it's kind of the most important aspect, side-by-side comparisons and how each of these traits are going to be affected. And like I said, this isn't pre-done. This is just me doing it live, showing you guys how I do comparisons, pretty much. Now, I want to make sure my champion points at the moment are empty, because I want a true value of what this is applied prior to champion system. Because the champion system will determine a lot of differences, but I want to do this without any champion points to get a true indication of a side-by-side comparison. All right, so, I mean, spell damage is, 2,263 with all divine, and like I said, spell criticals, 45.7. So, recovery looks pretty good. All right, so that's pretty good, actually, as far as spell damage goes. So we're looking at a 63 increase from originally from Giulianos, and the crit is considerable, 45.7. Now I'm just going to switch out the legs to infused to kind of get an idea. Now I want to enchant this as well. I want to go Max Magicka. Might have to go craft another, and I'm going to go Max Magicka again. Okay. All right, so I'm going to switch this out. Hopefully it doesn't drop. We'll see. So, okay. We'll see what it drops to, because we're not running those divine. So we lost 1% on critical, it looks like. Everything's still the same. Yeah. Max Magical Pool was increased, so we lost about 1% and almost, Jesus, 2,200. So I have 28 instead of 63 because of the Apprentice. Okay, 327. Okay, now what I want to also do is I want to go into my skills. I want to kind of go look at my base damage for my tooltip. So with this configuration, Funnel Health would be dealing 6,073 with this configuration. Now, mind you, I mean, this isn't a target dummy. I'm just going off the tooltip to kind of, indicate, how much damage it's going to be doing. If I go back, so make sure it's 6,073. Okay, so we lost 10 points with all divine because of the max magicka. Okay? On the tooltip. Alright? But we gained the 1% increase to crit value. So the spell damage loss actually didn't affect the max magicka as much. Okay. It's kind of interesting. So next thing you know, what I want to do here, and this is kind of going to be important to determine which Mundus I'm going to run with Giulianos. Okay? Because we're doing a side-by-side comparison. So I'm going to take the Divine first of the Julianos. Go back into my... Should have more... Max Magicka, I'm hoping. Only 2. I might end up having to craft 1 after all. Okay. No, because that's already been applied, so I got 2 more. Okay. Now, like I said, I'm not going to be actually doing anything else other than switching them out. So 6,073 with the infused pieces. Seeing if I can get the tooltip to go up higher. So Julie, we got 5. Yeah, we look good. Now that gives us the Apprentice Mundus. So we lost more than considerable amount of crit. But spell damage has went up. It probably would switch out that with the Thief, which I'll probably do real quick. When we go into skills, considerable amount of increase in the damage. Considerable. 6,003.78. 6,378. Okay, let me drop in the infused pieces real quick. Okay, we're going to enchant these as well. And yes, I will need to do another Max Magicka enchant. We can do that real quick. Just go to Mournhold and craft 1 real quick. $6,378. I should be writing this down. Make sure I usually have a crafting box here. Okay. I hate how long this takes sometimes just to grab these. Take it all. Take it all. Okay, gonna go into skills. I gotta put points in there. I'm not worried about whatever on that, but whatever. Okay. Rapora. Mako. Kuta.
Rapora. Mako. Kuta.
Max Magica. Okay. All right. Now. 6003. Let's see. 6,388. Okay. Let me switch out again. Six thousand 6,388. Okay. So the infused definitely bumps it up. So 6,388. Now, if I was to pick up the Thief Mundus, which would most likely what I'd do, because I'm not have my other sets or my bonus yet to that. So should have had the Thief as primary start off with, but I had the Apprentice for some reason, but it's fine. I like to keep up to about 55, and like I said, it starts to get adjusted with the CP system, but I don't like to bank on that when I'm doing a comparison initially. Then I'd go from there. Hope I don't wake up the bear. Okay. Make sure it's applied. Yep. So 55.4. Kind of where I like to be. Okay, that's... Now it's a considerable drop. A little under 6K. Oh. It's a little under 6K. Putting the infused pieces back on. Back up to 6,043. So 6,043. Okay, I'm going to keep it right here. So this is kind of where I would go with the Giulianos if I wasn't needing any, if I didn't have CP. Okay, if I didn't have any of my CP and I was doing a side-by-side comparison, this is where everything would be as far as tooltip wise. This is prior to testing any base damage or anything else. So now actually go do that really quick now, because I'm happy with the Mundus. I'm happy with everything else. And then we'll go back to the Twiceborn Star. We'll get the base damage down. A lot of changes with Mundus values, so it's kind of important to go over this between the crafted sets, especially to determine if I'm going to go with a configuration like this, and I'm going to go with a crafted versus a drop set. What am I looking at prior to champion points being applied? You know, and how do I structure my champion points depending on the values? For me personally, it's how I do it. So what I'm going to do is just very simple. I'm just going to go ahead and apply my degeneration with my funnel health to see what I can get funnel health up to. Nine one. So I want that empower buff. I want to see exactly how much I can. Okay, so I can get the crit up to about 9-1 cap. Take a look at the metrics. Okay. So our crit value is at 50% for our funnel, which is kind of nice because we're under the 50, right? Max damage is 10. Average is 8.4. Okay. Crit value currently is at 54, so we got a 4.1 loss on a diminishing effect for crit percentage. Alrighty. So 4.1 on a diminishing effect for that. Alright, so going back in, and I'm going to switch back in to the Twice-Born Star, and I'll pick up the Apprentice Mundus. We'll start off with the Divine again. Once again, everything's untraded except the chests and the legs. It's kind of the most important aspects for me. Okay, make sure we got 5. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pick up the Apprentice Mundus. And this, like I said, this is how I kind of do a comparable. Everything in comparison. So my metrics is already up there. So I already have it recorded. Kind of nice. Combat metrics is definitely badass. So 10, 9 on 8.4 average. Now I could probably pop the shadow, and I know a lot of people are thinking that, but like I said, I mean, this is I'm kind of doing the whole aspect that Giuliano's gives spell damage, right? And it gives crit. Twice-Born Star gives all max stats. It's kind of an important aspect to also keep in mind in comparison, because I'm getting 1,000 extra health. Stamina for a magic user really doesn't benefit me, but that health does, because that would also play a factor in how I would glyph. Survivability. But as far as base and raw damage, I want to do a complete comparison, because I can pick up, a crit differences by other means. Okay, making sure both are applied. All right. Avoid any unwanted aggro. Okay. Once again, I'll put up my metrics, just whatever. So 1019. But we're getting a lot more. Nine one six. Let it reset. 8416 average. 1019 max. That was prior. Come on, reset. Okay. I'm not going to go off that up how many times. I want to get the base value damage. This says the bear. That's not even right. Ugh. What is going on with my metrics? Don't even know. But we're getting an increase from Twiceborn Star with the Divine. With the Divine. So, I mean, it is apparent. Alright. Let me hit it again. 916 is what I can get that with the Empower buff going on. 9164. We're going to switch out for the infused pieces in a minute as soon as I exit combat. Okay, 9164. 9166. 2-point increase. So this is what I want you guys to see. That is a crit without Empower. That's a base without Empower. That's a crit with Empower. Crit with Empower. Crit with Empower. Crit with Empower. Base with Empower. Okay. 2-point difference. 2-point difference. 9,166. Now if I switch it back out. We'll go with the infused again. Oh, that's right. Should be 5. Yeah. So Twiceborn Star is outperforming the Giulianos without CP. Noticeable. Not, I mean, it's not detrimentally, you know, I mean, we're looking at 40 something points. So we had 9. That's 9,166. Max amount. 9118. 48-point difference. That's if you're using infused. Now keep in mind also that Twice Born Star is also going to be giving us a max health and for the stamina. And if we add now the champion points. So we kind of got the comparison between the two without the CP. All right. And my Mundus has remained the thief between both tests. So the only difference of it was the apprentice increase to, make up for the fact that Giuliano's has 299. And unless you grab a Mundus to apply the spell damage, there's no comparison. So we're going to be basically focusing on our critical damage. We'll be focusing on base. I won't be putting in any impen, I don't believe. And I want to get this up to about 13%. I probably could go 14 without a huge factor diminishing return. I'm cool with that. We'll have the 73 points to spare. So these will be our 2 determining factors to increase base and critical damage. Okay. Go back into the tooltip. Okay. 7583. $12.75. $12.751. Okay. Now we'll go pick up that Mundus again. 12.751. Critical rating has went up to 66. Now see, this is where I would drop this, because now my critical rating's too high. So what I want to do now is go with the apprentice, because now my critical rating's too high. I want to increase the base damage. So no CP. Twice Born Star outperforms Giuliano's on base value, on base damage and crit. Using funnel, nothing but funnel health and getting the empower buff. It's the only thing I want to make sure of. So I'm going to go now grab the apprentice because my crit value is up too high. Now we'll go back in. So then we can compare the two side by side with the different Mundus applied as the primary Mundus. And then last we'll work up the shadow between the two sets. And I just kind of wanted to walk through this. This is how I typically test things. I just don't go off of a parse, make everything one trait, and then just go balls to the wall and say, oh, this is the better result. CP is going to be a factor. Traits are going to be a factor. So as you guys can see, the infused pieces do make a slight difference for Twiceborn, but not as significant as Giuliano's. So now when I look at the character sheet, I'm slightly under the 55, so I'm at the 53. Once again, I like to keep around there. We'll see how much up the base damage is. Now, this is nothing compared to a parse because the critical chance would apply to your overall parse performance. But to take into consideration what traits you're going to use and what your base value damage is, all of this becomes relevant. So base damage becomes a key indicator of how the sets are performing with the comparable stats. So that's kind of the point is, how are they performing with comparable stats, no CP, and how are they performing with comparable stats with CP, and how is Mundus's going to affect the overall performances of these sets. So, because once I drop the Apprentice Mundus, the Shadow would be more prominent for critical damage, but it wouldn't apply to base value. Okay. So, same thing. Going to see what we can get out of it. 13-4. That's nice. With Empower. 13-4-8. Seven, 3, 6 base. 17, 13, 4, 8. 13, 4, 8. Now I have to wait for that to wear off. It's not bad. It's pretty good, actually. Okay. Okay. Should be 5. All right. I'm going to grab the Thief Mundus. So 13-4-8. So what we're hoping to beat with TBS for base. Okay. Okay. About 2% increase of the crit. We're at 54.3, so we got a 2% increase crit value. Spell damage, definitely higher as well. By 28 points. Ideally, this should be So 13, 4, 8. Guess that is what we're going to be trying to push over. Getting less. That's less. Let me switch all divines. We'll push up the other two pieces of divine. That's fine. We'll go back to the Julie. That's 12, 8. Just one more time here. 12, 8, 1, 3. Come on. So we'll go with the divine. Twelve, 8, 1, 3. Less. All divines. Never do it. This is why I never go all divine. Even marginal. Yeah. We'll put Giulianos back on one time. I don't even need the combat metrics for you guys to see that. 12, 7. It's the highest the funnel will go with current configuration with Empower buff. So 12, 7. Sure got 5. Yep. Holy fuck. TBS, what the fuck, man? That's why I could never fucking get rid of Julie. With CP, I couldn't. I just could never. Prior CP, we're looking at Twiceborn being more dominant. CP applied, Giulianos is showing more dominance. That's with the current configuration setup. Right? Now, we're going to go ahead and go with the Thief in the Shadow. Right? And we're going to basically then go with Giulianos with Apprentice in Shadow and whatever. Because we don't have the crit value with Twiceborn Start. So we need the Thief. It has to happen. Right? So more or less the whole configuration typically, like a lot of people who used to go with Twiceborn Star, was the Thief in the Shadow. Okay? We know Infused is dealing more. So we already know that the two biggest pieces of the Infused are slightly dealing more damage. So we're going to stay with that. We might switch it out to get a little bit more bump from to see what the Shadow will do. Okay? So I'm not dismissing that. All right. Currently, without CP, TBS is outperforming Giuliano's. CP, it's a whole different ball game. You guys see what I do. I mean, I can kind of configure the numbers, but I want to be impartial. I don't want to be biased. So when I'm testing, I don't want to believe that all the traits and everything's going to apply the same effect. So but base damage is very important, guys. Make no doubt about that, right? So a big thing for me to go ahead and do is come down here, and we'll get the shadow for the base between the two. So I'll make sure Twice Born Star is actually taken off. We'll put on the base. I'll pick up the Thief. So I want to unslot one piece. So my primary is shadow between the two sets. Okay, so I'm just going to unequip that just so I have 4. So when I pick up this Mundus, it's the primary. Now once again, I'm not going in like full rotations or anything like that. What I'm basically doing is determining the base value between the two. Because I've been playing with metrics on MMOs for years, and I kind of got the use of having to use a lot of metrics because we can determine base value, and if you're depending on your crit percentage and the diminishing value of your crit, then you can kind of determine that your overall DPS would be affected from the base value of all effects, so to speak. I've just been doing it a long time, and when I went to the PS4, they have no metrics, so everything's visual, everything's an optical. You have to pay attention by your vision of what you're seeing. Okay, make sure. Hold on, I don't have aggro, and that's on. So I'm gonna put it back on my Twice Born Star. Excuse me. I'm gonna go get the Thief. This has been the typical configuration in the past. But 13.4.7.8 is what Giuliano's just beat out Twice Born Star with that configuration with the Thief and the Apprentice. Not to say that it will apply to this. We don't know yet. We will find out. So no CP, Twice Born was dominant, right? With CP, Giuliano's with the Thief and the Apprentice was dominant over Twice Born Star. Now we're going to check out the Thief and the Shadow and use the Shadow on the Giuliano's to see which one displays performance with CP or with this type of configuration. Yeah, my combat metrics is froze or something. I gotta take a look at that. Like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. Make sure everything's applied. Yeah, we got the Thief and we have the Shadow. Good to go. We'll try it with the infused pieces and we'll go to the Divine. Cool with that. And like I said, once again, for console players kind of bank on YouTubers maybe more than they should. I'm always like, tooltip gives you a good indication of what your max can do prior to penetrating value. And once you take into penetrating value, you get close to 100%, and you can get close to the margin without exceeding it. You know, you go from there. Everything determines from base. Everything. Okay. So we're going to try it with the 2 infused. We'll go to the divine, see the difference. 13-1 with this setup. 13-1. Thirteen, 1, 3. Okay. Okay, we're going to go to the divine. Still make sure everything's applied. Now that's interesting. 13-1-5-6 with all divine now with the thief in the shadow. So the shadow now, when you have the shadow, it's outperforming the infused pieces on the crit. The base does go down. You can see the base drop. But you get a couple more points. So 4-3, 5-6. So 13-point difference. But you lose on, you know, a couple hundred resource on your resource pool. That's debatable. 13 points. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Okay. Now we're going to go with Infused Julianos, then we'll do Divine Julianos. Make sure we got 5. Make sure we're running the shadow. Nope. Looks good. 13-1-5. It's the number to beat. Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh, is this really happening? Oh shit! Oh fuck no! That is so what? What? 13-8-6-6 with infused. Oh shit! Shut the fuck up. Okay, I'm gonna hit the divine. 13-8. If this hits 14, I'm gonna be nuts. Nah, went up a little bit. Couple of points again. Like 13 points again. So there you guys have it. You know, you guys watched it, you guys seen it. Twiceborn Star is a great set. It's really good. It really is. I'm not going to say anything. It's a 9-trait set, you know. The max health comes in handy though. So, but no CP, Twiceborn's dominant. No CP. None. 0. When you add the CP values, Giuliano's is just slamming fucking Twiceborn. Just fucking beating it in the head. And I kept telling everybody in the past, like, I can't get away from Giuliano's. I can't. Someone's like, you should be running Twiceborn Star. I'm like, I've tried that set multiple times. It is underperforming my Giulianos. It is underperforming my Julie with my CP system. It just always was. And this is, once again, the same results. I can switch out the Munduses and whatever, and I can run up the entire parse, but the base value between each set is a determining factor. You guys don't have to like it. You guys, if you like it, give me a thumbs up. If you don't, whatever. I know some people hate me, whatever, because they hate how I do shit. But yeah, I wanted to come in here. I came in here completely unbiased, believe it, because if Twiceborn Star was, I'm a master crafter on my PS. I can craft anything. So believe you and me, if Twiceborn was going to reflect the damage output on the base value or on every aspect, I would go ahead and take it every day of the week. But as you guys can see, the shadow, even on Julianos, is just dominating. And when you take aggressive Warhorn into that scenario, because people are always like, well, Twiceborn Star shines with aggressive Warhorn. Well, that's because of the Shadow Mundus, right? Because you get a multiplier, right, towards your critical damage. And once again, though, we have a diminishing effect that's applied to different aspects of this game. And that's kind of what we see in the CP system when it applies to crafted sets as well. So I hope this video kind of helps people. I'm surprised. I'm actually shocked by the results. I didn't think it was going to be that clear cut when CP was applied. I was unsure without the CP, but Twiceborn definitely performed without CP. CP, though, just couldn't cut it. All right, guys. If you have any questions or comments, post below. I want to thank everybody for watching, and once again and always, have a nice day.